So what we've got to do is create some leverage for ourselves. And leverage means that it's got to be about somebody else rather than you. So I'll tell you what I did, and this is a true story for me. When I grew up, my parents were divorced when I was young. I was 6 years old when they were divorced, and I grew up with my mother. My mother was, she hadn't gone to college, but she was always, back in those days, her goal was to find a husband. She wanted to find a father for her kids. So literally, I was in 2 or 3 school districts a year because my mom was trying to find a husband. And so I was always behind the curriculum. And to make matters worse, I was wearing my aunt's clothes to school. So I was wearing women's clothes to school. Now, before you feel too bad for me, this was the 70s. So everybody was wearing bell bottoms, but my pants were a little bit lower than they should have been. They were kind of like, the girls are wearing these hip hugger things, but I wore my shirt down. And I had 3 pair of these pants. They were all denim type of material. One was blue jeans, those are cool. Another ones were stripes, kind of like the flag. That was cool. And this other pair, I never wore. My mom caught me one day. She goes, "Hey, Daniel, you wore those pants yesterday." And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, and I wore them the day before too. And she'd always, "Hey, we don't have a lot of money, but we're going to be clean." And this, that, and the other. So I begged her. I said, "Mom, please, no." And she said, "Yes, put on those pants." I'm crying. I'm a small child here. And anyway, these pants, they were also denim. They were blue jeans with white stripes, so pin stripes, and then red hearts all over them. I'm still in therapy, y'all. So are kids mean, yes or no? Yeah, so I was the dumb kid in class. I was the kid who was always behind in school, so I was the kid who was a dumb kid. Now he's wearing women's clothes. And besides that, I had a bad haircut too. Everything was bad. And I just never forget that the homeroom bell rang. Usually what would happen is I'd go to the playground and I'd start playing sports, because that's the only way that I could build my self-esteem, is play sports. And but that day I was wearing those pants. I went right and got in my home. I made sure I got to school right when the bell rang. And I got in my homeroom line, and everybody's running up and getting in line, and I can hear the chatter. I can hear the chatter, like, "Oh, look at that, look at the new kid, yeah. Oh my God, look at," just making fun of me and stuff about my clothes. Now, I didn't know why we were poor. I didn't understand that, but I knew how I felt. And I thought, if I ever have kids, which was unimaginable, because I said I never want anybody to feel that way, ever. So as my career was growing and I had children, I'm always going to show up prepared. I'm always going to crush it. I'm always going to exceed expectations, always. Because in my mind, if I didn't, then my kids were going to have that same feeling that I had. And so that was real to me. It wasn't real. My kids didn't have that problem, but they had other issues. But the fact that it was real to me. So when someone, "Hey, can you do a keynote in New York the next day?" Yeah, I can do it. I can make it happen. And I prepare, and I would exceed expectations. So for you, it gets down to, you've got to write your goals down about why am I doing it. It's for somebody else. It can't be for you. It's got to be for your daughter, your husband, your wife, your sister, your brother, your mother, your father. Why am I going to stop? Why am I going to start eating better? Why am I going to cut out all the sugar, or whatever it is you do? Why am I going to stop drinking? It's not for me, because I'm going to let myself keep doing it.